Hello, my friends. So you're looking for the most unique, interesting gift ideas possible out there. Well, first of all, let me tell you who I am. My name is Elias Loban, and I'm an enthusiast, expert, dealer, and author in authentic ancient Greek and Roman coins. I love ancient coins, I love the history behind them, and I believe actually that they make the best gifts out there. Now, let's start with ancient coins that could be corresponding to people's names. I have a whole list more on my website which you could see later, but let's start with the most famous. Philip II, father of Alexander the Great. Some historians actually think that he should actually have the cognomen of the Great also, because he was the father of Alexander the Great and he did amazing feats that actually created the kingdom which Alexander the Great took to the heights of the empire. So imagine giving somebody named Philip, a loved one, a friend, a coin of Philip II. This specific coin actually commemorated his Olympic Games victory in regards to a horse racing event. So hence you have the little boy on the horse on the reverse. Now moving on to Alexander the Great. Did you know you could actually get an amazing coin of Alexander very affordably? What's really interesting about Alexander the Great is that he's featured as Hercules, wearing the lionskin headdress, and on the reverse you have Zeus. What's also interesting about him is that he's one of the people that Western civilization is actually credits a lot of its foundations for. If it wasn't for him creating a big empire, if you research later, you will find that he's very important and historically significant. So imagine how many people are also named Alexander, Alexandra. In Russian, there's also Alexander is Sasha. That's another way of saying Alexander. You could get a person named Alexander a coin like this. So if everybody named Alexander actually got an Alexander the Great coin, these things would not be available for collectors and enthusiasts such as myself to collect. So that's kind of interesting. How about Constantine? The name Constantine actually still resonates to this day. He's known as Constantine the Great and also as Saint Constantine. Saint Constantine was responsible for the Christianization of the Roman Empire, and henceforth is also known as the first Christian Roman emperor. Very interesting historically. Now, ancient coins are also great, historically significant in regards to the Bible. So this, for example, is a coin alluding to the widow's mite. The widow's mite is the smallest type of coin, the smallest type of loose change possible. So imagine like half a penny, a penny, and it was worth only half of that. So she gave two of these kinds of coins in a collection at a religious meeting, and she was a poor widow. So the allegory of it is that even though she gave very small amounts of money, like a couple pennies, she actually gave a lot more because that was all the money that she had left, as opposed to somebody that gave much more, let's say in the form of gold coins, but that was a much smaller portion of the total amount of wealth they had. So that was kind of interesting. Now moving on to Pontius Pilate. This is a coin of Pontius Pilate. He was a Roman procurator, pretty much a Roman in control of the Jerusalem area, and before him Jesus Christ was brought for trial and henceforth was actually crucified. Remember, he was crucified by the Romans? Well, Pontius Pilate, historically significant coin, very important for anybody studying ancient biblical history. And imagine the kind of gift this would make for somebody to collect, also to educate future generations. Also a gift to a church would be amazing for, I actually have a customer that bought a lot of great coins for his church because he, loves the people there. So moving on. This is a coin of the ancient Jews. The ancient Jews wound up rebelling under Emperor Nero. Nero was emperor from 54 to 68 AD. The Jewish-Roman War started around 67 AD. Nero needed taxes, and the Jews were once under control of the Roman Empire that they were collecting taxes from. So what happened was you had a great war where the Jews rebelled, and they declared on this coin actually the freedom of Zion. Later, afterwards, the ancient Roman Emperor Titus wound up actually defeating them and sacking the Second Temple, taking all the loot out of it, capturing a lot of the Jews as slaves, and bringing this all this loot in a triumphal procession to Rome. With this salute, actually, the Flavian Amphitheater, known as the Colosseum, was built. So, very historically significant coin of the Jewish people. Giving this to, let's say, some Jewish people would be very appreciated for Hanukkah, or just as a great gift for a birthday. Now, moving on to symbols of Christianity on ancient coins. Constantine the Great, he saw a sign in the sky, and basically it was said that by this sign you shall conquer. So he had almost like a vision from God, and he went on to a great victory and defeat. So this is one of the earliest Christian symbols. This is the Cairo. It's basically like an XP monogram, which actually is the monogram for Jesus' name, Christos. And on the one side it says Alpha and Omega. This symbol was later used on military standard and featured on many coins as the standard by which they actually conquered a lot of people. So a lot of coins actually feature the emperor holding this labarum, which is a standard tipped with the symbol, and conquering lands, grabbing barbarians, and things like that. So that's kind of interesting and historically significant. Now, moving on actually to ancient Byzantine coins featuring Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ was featured in many ancient Byzantine coins, and also so were many saints. So this is a beautiful depiction of Jesus Christ from circa 1000 and something AD. So 1050, 1068 AD about. So very interesting coin, very interesting portrait of Jesus Christ. So getting a person coin with Jesus Christ on it for Christmas time or for any other time actually is very important. So that could also work for Easter and so much more. So Jesus Christ and ancient coins, very interesting. Now, ancient coins are very interesting. Another coin and another personage on ancient coins that's very important is Alexander the Great, as I mentioned. This is a slightly bigger coin of Alexander the Great. Look at the beauty and history captured in miniature on an ancient coin. Ancient coins are beautiful, they're portable, and they're historical. And most people actually don't know about them. So what's really cool is that you don't have much competition when you're buying ancient coins. So you could put together a relatively very interesting collection, relatively affordably, considering how old and beautiful these ancient coins are. Now, another personage that's very important to historically is Julius Caesar. Julius Caesar's victories in the Civil War basically brought him to become a dictator in the Republic, and he wound up actually getting assassinated. And then his grandnephew, whom he adopted, wound up actually becoming the first Roman emperor. Mark Antony was one of Julius Caesar's generals, and he was a great commander in his own right. And he wound up actually putting his lots in life and his fate together with that of Cleopatra. What happened is that he was, her lover, and he fell in love with her, and he actually had some children with her. So when he had to fight Julius Caesar's nephew, Augustus, in a great naval battle with his naval commander Agrippa, Mark Antony got defeated. So he takes a ship back to Alexandria, and both him and Cleopatra wound up committing suicide. That story is actually depicted in many great Hollywood films, I think one of them being Cleopatra, and also in the HBO series Rome, which is also quite interesting. As think about how connected and historically significant even these great characters to this day are with the great films that are available for people to watch. You know, Gladiator, you had the series Rome, you had a great famous series also called I, Claudius that was very interesting. Now this is a portrait coin of Augustus. Augustus was the first Roman emperor, and he has to be mentioned in this series in regards to ancient coinage. Augustus, 27 BC to 14 AD. He was responsible for the way the Roman Empire looked for the next, until its downfall. And very interesting. Now, Nero. Nero was one of these megalomaniacal emperors. He was very full of himself. He pictured himself as a great, a performer. And that's why he was known as fiddling while Rome burned. That's just one of the accounts. But see, history is obviously, nobody really knows what he was doing while it was burning, but that's how the story goes. But what wound up happening is that on the site of where the fire cleared away all these buildings, he built a magnificent palace for himself. And and he finally felt like he was living like an emperor should. And incidentally, during his reign, the Jews rebelled, and you had a bunch of rebels in the empire. People, it was kind of started falling apart because this guy really didn't care. He just wanted to do what he wanted to do. So he was one of these more infamous Roman emperors, which is also interesting to collect. But his coinage is actually quite artistic and beautiful. Now moving on to Marcus Aurelius. He's another one of these great historical figures that you may know actually from the film The Gladiator. His son was Commodus. This emperor was very much involved with philosophy. His writings are still known to this day, and they're still being read, and he's still quite popular. He's known as one of the 5 good emperors. During the time period when emperors were actually adopted on merit rather than, putting your, sons in line as the procession of the emperor. After him, he actually put his son in line, and that's when all heck broke loose. How about Constantine the Great? Constantine the Great was the first Roman emperor to bring Christianity into the official religion of the Roman Empire. He's the one that saw by this symbol, you shall conquer, the Cairo. And, he's responsible for the way Western civilization is today. That's why he's known as Constantine the Great. Also in Christianity, he's known as Saint Constantine. His coins are actually very affordable. And what's really great is that how affordable they are to the historical significance and to the, historical significance to the Roman Empire, to Western civilization, and as great gifts. His coins are very artistic, they're beautiful, and have a lot of interesting depictions on them. Now, as investments, there was an article in International Business Times a couple years back where actually they summed up as ancient coins being artistic and tangible and beautiful, and they're more tangible than stocks and bonds, and that's why they've been actually viewed as tangible investments by some people in this article. Source given here. Now, one of the reasons why people actually keep buying coins from me and they love to buy coins from me is that I'm one of those dealers, one of the few that likes to go the extra mile. What I like to do is actually provide a beautiful full color certificate of authenticity, a lifetime guarantee of authenticity also, because in reality only the person selling you the coin can actually give you a lifetime guarantee. So that's what I give, beautiful certificates. So whether you're giving it as a gift to someone, they actually have the documentation, and you can actually present the coin for the historical significance that it really is. Also, the coin comes in its own protective coin flip, which is professionally done and has a little miniaturized descriptions there. So This actually coin flip allows you to actually take the coin out of its protective covering and put it back very easily, so you could actually enjoy the historical beauty right in your hands. It is an amazing feeling to hold the piece of history and wonder who held this coin, what were they thinking, what were they trading these coins for. That really is historically significant in itself, and makes it tangible, something that is great for resellability, makes it a great gift, and so much more need not be said. Now, you could visit my store, which is stores.ebay.com/authentic-ancient-Greek-Roman coins. You'll probably just pause the video or type it in into your browser right on top and see my store. I have a lot more information there, and a lot of the topics covered there, and a lot more that I just can't cover in a short, brief video. But now that you know how important, how interesting ancient coins are and how affordable they are, I'm looking forward to dealing with you. Or if you find somebody, find some reputable people. There's a lot of people selling ancient coins. Not a lot of people know about them, and I'm excited for you to get as excited as I am about ancient history and ancient coinage in the future. So good luck, and may you find the most fantastic gifts possible.